WCBI News at 10 starts now.
Thanks for staying up late with us tonight. I'm Quentin Smith. The Centers for Disease Control releases recommended guidelines for K-12 schools to follow once they reopen for the school year. That has area districts really doing their homework. Our Stephanie Poole explains.
It's been 3 months since students walked the halls in Noxubee County schools. When it's time to return this fall, there will be some new rules.
It's a lot of logistics in the middle of making sure everybody's safe and our processes work.
Noxubee County School Superintendent Rodriguez Broadnack says his team is exploring new ways to keep students protected.
I'm developing what is called the R3I Task Force, which is our new initiative. Those are some guidelines that go along with the CDC guidelines. So it's to reset, refresh, and refocus our district in a total new normal throughout this pandemic. Our elementary schools framework would be, what does parent pickup look like? What will lunch look like? What will the cafeteria look like? How will we be able to tell if students have symptoms of COVID?
Among the guidelines, the CDC recommends keeping desks 6 feet apart. It also suggests keeping children with the same teacher or staff member for the duration of the day.
We're looking at an A-day, B-day schedule for possibly for the elementary school students. Based on what level they're at. If they're a below grade level, they come Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And those students that are at grade level or above grade level come Tuesday and Thursday.
The new recommendations also affect the trip to and from school. They call for only 1 child per seat on the school buses, leaving empty rows between riders. Broadnax is concerned more bus drivers will be needed to run routes and ensure a sick child doesn't get on the bus.
What measures are we going to be able to take to check temperatures on the school bus before they get on the bus to turn those kids around? Right now, we are disinfecting every school, every office, every classroom, every single day that teachers are in.
Broadnack says the task force plan will be finalized around the beginning of the school year in hopes to accommodate each student. Reporting in Noxubee County, Stephanie Poole, WCBI News.
And you can find the full list of school reopening guidelines on the CDC's website. Well, count Mississippi's coastal casinos among the businesses welcoming customers back just in time for Memorial Day. As you can see here, there was a line at the Golden Nugget when doors opened at 8 a.m., but things have changed on the inside. Golden Nugget employees are required to wear masks, and machines have also been spaced out. There are also signs to remind guests to follow new guidelines. Employees say they're just excited to see customers again.
Well, we're tired for one because the order came down last Friday, so we kind of knew something was coming. We got started a little, but we've been in high gear since last Friday morning, and we're tired, but we're ready after 2 months.
Most casinos on the coast did reopen today. One notable exception is the Beau Rivage. Governor Tate Reeves is discussing the state's next phase of rebuilding the economy. And get this, it involves people getting back to work, but with better pay. Courtney Ann Jackson explains.
More workforce training money was on Governor Tate Reeves' priority list for the federal CARES Act money early on. And now he'll ask lawmakers to put it on theirs.
The reality is we should not be looking at plans simply to spend the CARES Act funds. We must develop plans to invest the CARES Act funds.
Reeves says many companies do on-the-job training tailored to their needs.
For those employers willing to start employees at an attractive wage, frankly, a wage that competes with these new federal unemployment benefits, I am proposing to partner with these companies to cover a portion of the wages during the on-the-job training period through the end of 2020.
As part of the way to achieve those goals, he's appointing Patrick Sullivan as chairman of the State Workforce Investment Board. Sullivan was most recently the president of the Mississippi Energy Institute.
Prior to the coronavirus, the state of the economy was there was a number of employers out there who were looking for high-skilled workers, and there just wasn't enough of them. The supply of what we were producing in Mississippi in a lot of cases just didn't meet the demand.
Sullivan gave a rundown of some of the high-demand jobs that also come with high paychecks.
3D printing, robotics programming, automation and controls, industrial maintenance technicians, precision manufacturing, getting down into the information technology, coding, cybersecurity, network specialists.
Sullivan says this is a years-long endeavor, but he looks forward to better informing Mississippians about the opportunities that are available.
Courtney Ann Jackson, WCBI News.
The legislature is set to return next week, and of course, we'll keep you updated if any additional plans related to workforce development are discussed.
We have been accustomed to some comfortable evenings of late, really a good chunk of the year so far, but right now we have a mild evening, moisture, humidity coming on back. We've got low 70s. Look at Tupelo still at 76 degrees. We will be in the thick of the heat and humidity tomorrow, back into the mid to upper 80s in a good chunk of the region here. Chance for a few scattered storms during the course of the day. Not everyone will see it, but we have the opportunity. There's a batch of storms out by Little Rock and Pine Bluff, Arkansas, that's right in the frontal boundary that's lifting across our area. So that could trip a few showers of storms around here later tonight or tomorrow morning. As we get into your holiday weekend, highs pushing 90 degrees, more scattered rain and storms, and just like summer, the full forecast coming up.
The FBI is labeling a shooting at Naval Air Station Corpus Christi as an act of terrorism. A sailor was wounded and the gunman was killed. Now there are questions about whether he acted alone. CBS's Jeff Burgess has the latest.
Investigators say the gunman, described to CBS News as a U.S. citizen of Middle Eastern descent, tried to crash a car through this gate at around 6:15 this morning and opened fire.
Attention all units, receiving reports from the Naval Air Station that they have an active shooter on base.
Navy officials say the gunman came out of his vehicle with a shotgun. One guard was wounded in the exchange. The suspect was killed. FBI agents called it an act of terror and said they're searching for accomplices.
We may have a potential second related person of interest at large in the community.
Today's incident comes 6 months after another attack on a naval facility in Pensacola, Florida, which authorities this week linked to al-Qaeda. Mohammed al-Shrani killed 3 sailors and injured 8 others. Josh Geltzer served on the National Security Council.
That capacity to have the symbolic effect of attacking the U.S. Armed Forces, that potential for greater media coverage, all of that is regrettably appealing to terrorists.
CBS News has learned that investigators have identified the gunman as Adam al-Sali. Investigators are combing through electronic devices found at the scene as the FBI tries to determine if the gunman was inspired or directed by a terrorist organization. Jeff Burgess, CBS News, Washington.
And now turning our attention over to weather. Keith, what type of weather can we expect this weekend for Memorial Day?
Well, we have a chance for some more showers and storms. Let's talk about it here in Bruce tomorrow, Calhoun County. We start out maybe in the 60s, but quickly shooting back into the 80s here as we get into the afternoon hours. Calhoun City, Bruce, Vardaman, there you go. More storms in the forecast there and everywhere else. Your full forecast is next.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
It's already starting to feel a little bit more muggy out there across our region, and that deep tropical moisture that we've been watching is finally coming back here, and it's going to stay put for a while through the weekend for all of next week. And that means a chance for more showers and storms, upper 80s to around 90 for your Memorial Day weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. No big changes here going forward. Some of these storms could be locally strong at times, gusty breezes, heavy downpours, lots of lightning. But in general, we don't envision a lot of widespread strong or severe weather, but there will be some scattered storms around. Pretty mild out there right now. We've got 73 in Columbus, Louisville, Mississippi, Vernon, Durham's Pharmacy right there, 76 degrees in Tupelo, one of the warmer locations. Our temperatures tonight will cool down into the mid to maybe upper 60s. It's mild now. We have a warm front coming on through, and there's still a chance for a shower or storm as we go throughout the course of the night. Here's our first alert forecast. We have Bella. Bella's getting ready for a warm day like we all are tomorrow. We start out upper 60s, upper 80s to mid 80s at least by the afternoon. And there could be some storms around here. Not everyone will see it, but we will just broad brush the opportunity for some rain and storms just about at any time tomorrow and just about any day going forward. But the prime time will be during the daylight hours, the heating of the day, late morning through the afternoon. We'll just see how it all plays out. There could be a little bit better chance for some early morning storms in the far north, but Suffice to say, highs in the 80s, winds from the south and southwest 5 to 15, and much more humidity in the air. Just some ground clutter being detected by our live radar right now. There's a batch of storms, showers and storms over here near Little Rock, Arkansas. These are moving more northeast and east, but they're moving along that frontal boundary we talked about earlier, and that boundary is lifting from south to north. And notice what's going on here by 7 o'clock in the morning, the better chances along that boundary right along the state line with Tennessee. So I don't think a lot of us will have rain tonight or tomorrow morning, but there may be some out there. As we get into midday tomorrow into the low 80s, mid to upper 80s in the afternoon, we'll likely bubble up a few storms and probably a better chance for more coverage here as we get into our Saturday. If we're lucky, you'll get one of those storms and that will help cool things back down into the 70s. But that's going to be the story for the next 7 days here. Mid to upper 80s for highs, lows in the 60s, daily rain chances.
Well, Scott isn't here tonight, but guess what? He did leave us a treat. More hot dogs and more wine. That's right, we're getting more great ideas, this time from those right here in the Magnolia State. Here's this week's Virtual Uncorked.
Hey everyone, it is time for Uncorked, and we're still talking about hot dogs and wine pairings. And tonight, we're talking with Psalms from Mississippi.
Mississippi does not actually have its own hot dog. Our chef has made one for our state, and it is going to be a grilled Nathan's hot dog lacquered with a bourbon molasses glaze and served on French bread with white barbecue aioli, smoked pork shoulder, mustard green relish, pickled vegetables, and our house-made Mississippi red hot sauce. And so for this one, I've actually picked 2 wines because there's a lot going on, and depending on the time of the day, decides if I want to drink white or if I want to drink red. So again, to Christelle, she put on this awesome tasting with Barbersville a few weeks ago, and they sent us a bunch of delicious wines. So I picked the Viognier as my whites for this. It's so what they do in Barbersville is they pick the Viognier earlier so it retains a ton of acidity. So that acidity is going to go great for cutting through the mustard green relish and the aioli. And Viognier itself is a great wine to pair with pork. And now, if I was going to drink a red wine, I have picked the Melville Syrah from Santa Barbara. Chad Melville is awesome. I got to go to Mission Santa Barbara a few months ago and had one of the greatest experiences of my life. So this wine is going to be a little cooler climate. And it's got great acidity. It's got a lot of fruit. So the acid and the tannin structure alone make it a great pairing to cut through the fattiness that is in this hot dog. And then the fruit goes really well with all those vinegary flavors. And so our second hot dog is just like the fun one. We were supposed to open another restaurant this month, and it's Humble Taco. So we didn't get to open, so we have made the Humble Dog. And this is a grilled Nathan's hot dog served on French bread with pimento queso. If you know anything about the South, you know we love our pimento and cheese. With stewed black beans, pickled red ripe jalapenos, chipotle, lime, corn nuts, and fresh cilantro. And I've paired a fun wine with that, which is the Love You Bunches, which is a carbonic Sangiovese from Stoltman Vineyards out of Santa Barbara as well. This is just fun. It's easy to drink. It's got great acidity, so it's going to really cut through all of those flavors. It is a pretty rich hot dog with the cheese, but then it's got a ton of fruit that's going to pair really nicely with the spice because it's going to kind of tone it down a little bit.
Hot dogs are actually one of my favorite foods. So I really wanted to capture what Alaska has to offer in terms of a hot dog, but when I started thinking about it, it's all about seafood. But I do remember sort of a fusion because I spent a lot of my life growing up in Memphis, Tennessee. So born in Alaska, raised in Memphis. So I kind of put together the 2 areas for what would represent a hot dog in those areas. In Alaska, they do something what we call a reindeer dog. We know reindeer is actually caribou, but you take a reindeer sausage, beef and pork. And so that's what I actually did. Unfortunately, not a Nathan's dog. and Coca-Cola onions. So it's just basically that deer sausage and the Coca-Cola onions. I'll stand back and show you. I don't know how pretty that looks. I mean, we got some really great chefs. This does not compare. But I grilled that today. And, you know, if I'm going to do caribou or deer sausage, I'm going to actually go with a wine that goes with it. First, let's talk about flavors, right? That deer sausage is going to be a little bit sweeter. And I'm from Memphis, so we have these Sweet Baby Ray's is the barbecue sauce. It's really a big deal. So I took some Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce, and I've been basting that deer sausage on the grill with it. Did those Coca-Cola onions and put it on a brat bun. So we got sort of a sweeter dog. And I wanted to go with a wine that's going to go great with something sweet. And I didn't want to do something outrageous. I wanted to go with what's normal, what I really like. And I went with a Cabernet. It's great down here. We're all loving Cabernet. But I got one with a bourbon barrel-aged Cabernet, and that is Buckshot. That's the 2018 that I got. It's the current vintage right now. But you get a really concentrated wine. The grapes, a lot of time on the vine. So it was a really great year for it. And we got this really condensed or concentrated Cabernet, sweet wine, and sweeter dog. That's your pairing there. And I love it.
Thanks for joining us for Uncorked, everyone.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers. Cheers.
Welcome back. Millions of Americans live with asthma, and while the condition can be dangerous, it's also manageable. We look at treatment options in tonight's Health Talk with Baptist.
Hi, I'm Dr. Gaurav Dutta, part of the pulmonology team at Baptist Memorial Hospital, Golden Triangle. Tonight, I want to talk to you about how we treat asthma. When you have an asthma attack or asthma symptoms, it's important to know when to call your doctor to prevent an asthma emergency. Asthma medications can save your life and let you live an active lifestyle in spite of your asthma. There are two basic types of drugs used in asthma treatment: steroids and other anti-inflammatory drugs, and bronchodilators. Anti-inflammatory drugs, especially inhaled steroids, are the mainstay of treatment for most people with asthma. These life-saving medications prevent asthma attacks and work by reducing swelling and mucus production in the airways. As a result, the airways are less sensitive and less likely to react to asthma triggers and cause asthma symptoms. Bronchodilators relieve the symptoms of asthma by relaxing the muscles that can tighten around the airways. Short-acting bronchodilator inhalers or rescue inhalers are used to quickly relieve the symptoms. They may also be used prior to exercise for people with exercise-induced asthma. The longer-acting bronchodilators or maintenance inhalers are the mainstay of treatment in people not controlled with steroid inhalers alone and need to be used as prescribed. If you have been diagnosed with asthma, but your treatment no longer seems to work, or if you have symptoms that require you to use your rescue inhaler too frequently, it is time to check in with your doctor. You may need to change your medication for better control. Join us next time for Health Talk with Baptist.
Mail your topic suggestions to healthtalk@wcbi.com. Health Talk has been brought to you by Baptist Memorial Hospital, Golden Triangle.
Well, there's at least one live option for sports fans this weekend. Courtney heads to the track when we come back. Stay with us.
Your WCBI Sports with Courtney Robb.
How about some good sports news? High school sports can officially return to the Twin States. Both the Alabama and Mississippi High School Athletic Associations announcing that teams can resume athletic activities starting on June 1st. However, this decision comes with plenty of restrictions. The MHSAA won't allow inter-squad summer competitions such as Summer League basketball or 7-on-7 football. Teams will also be required to follow orders handed down by state and local government. For more information on all of those restrictions, you can visit our website at WCBI.com. After taking time to explore options in the NBA, Mississippi State forward Abdul Ado reportedly will return to play his senior season for the Bulldogs. Ado threw his name into the 2020 draft back in April without hiring an agent, allowing him to receive feedback from scouts and keep his final year of eligibility. Ado averaged 6 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 blocks for MSU this past season. After After spending the last 2 months closed, the Magnolia Motor Speedway is ready to open back up. The Speedway hosted its first race since late March last weekend and now is opening it back up to the fans. Spectators will be allowed to come out for the 602 Sportsman World Championship during Memorial Day weekend. The race includes 60 entries. The fastest 26 make it to Sunday. Speedway owner Johnny Stokes says people are ready to come out and attend.
I haven't heard anybody that was nervous. We're gonna do our social distancing. We got big old stands, and we asked them folks to, with their family or a group they're around, they can sit with that group. But if you're not, stay 6 foot apart. And we park all the way around the speedway. Cars can park all the way around there, and they can sit in their car and watch. And so I think it's gonna be okay. But we've had a lot of fans ready to come to the races.
That's it for sports. We'll have more for you when we come back. Stay with us.
All right, here's our summary 7-day forecast. We are getting into the unofficial start of summer. That is Memorial Day weekend. Look at those highs, upper 80s to around 90 degrees. We haven't seen a 7-day forecast like this all year. And now the humidity's back, and it is just going to be steamy, Quentin, as we get into the weekend and beyond, too.
So we should have took advantage of this good weather while we had it.
Hopefully you did.
Because Mother Nature finna rain on our parade.
There you go.
Have a good night, everyone.